What's up YouTube, Saf here on Super Saf TV, and in this video I'm going to be comparing the specs of the Samsung Galaxy Note 4 to the Samsung Galaxy Note Edge. Now both of these devices were announced today together, which was something different from Samsung, two big devices on the same day. Now I actually wasn't going to do this video initially because both of these devices have very similar specs, but a lot of you are requesting it. So what I'm going to do in this video is the similarities between these two. I'm going to run through very quickly, but I'm going to be concentrating mainly on the key differences because there are some key differences between these two devices, and hopefully this video will help give you an idea of what the Edge is all about and what it's really intended for. So do hit that thumbs up button and let's get straight to this head-to-head spec comparison. Now we're going to start off with the screen size. So the Samsung Galaxy Note 4 has a 5.7 inch screen. The Note Edge has a 5.6 inch screen, so it is slightly smaller, it may seem, because it's a 5.6 inch screen, and yes, it will be smaller in terms of height, but you've got that curved edge, so the screen actually extends in terms of width. Now resolution wise, the Samsung Galaxy Note 4 has a Quad HD display, so that's 2560 by 1440, 515 ppi pixel density, so a very high pixel density here, and with that Super AMOLED display the colors are going to be looking absolutely great. You've got very similar screen resolution here on the Edge as well, but once again a slight difference here because instead of the 1440 you've got 1600, so that's 160 pixels extra in the width, and that extends over to that curve. We'll be talking a little bit more about that curve later on. Now dimensions wise, this also gives you a bit of a difference. Now the Note 4 is actually a bit taller, it's 2.2 millimeters taller compared to the Note Edge, but the Note Edge is wider, expectedly so, it's 3.8 millimeters wider, so you've got a little bit more width on the Edge because of that curved screen edge that you've got going. But the Note Edge is a little bit slimmer, it's 0.2 millimeters slimmer compared to the Note 4. Now in terms of the weight, there's only 2 grams between these two, so they're going to be feeling very similar in the hand, especially in terms of the weight. And they've got the same build as well. Samsung have now gone for a metal frame, so they're seeming to be doing this a lot. It was there with the Samsung Galaxy Alpha. You've got a nice premium metal frame, but then you've got a textured back. So this is a plastic textured back which has got a soft touch to it. Now this is removable, so that way you can take off the back, and this looks like the reason why they've got this plastic back rather than a full metal build, which to be honest for me isn't too much of a big deal. I think having the advantage of a removable back is very useful, but they've definitely gone for a premium look and feel for both of these devices, which is absolutely great. Now looking at the internals, these are very similar across the board. Firstly, same processor, Snapdragon 805 2.7 GHz quad-core processor with the Adreno 420 GPU. So these are some of the high specs out there. This is going to be super fast on both of these devices. Multitasking and things are going to be fast and snappy, and this is what the Note series is known for, that multitasking. And for that multitasking, you've got 3 GB of RAM on both these devices as well. They've not improved this from the Note 2, so you've got 3 GB of RAM here, not 4. 3 GB of RAM on a smartphone is pretty good anyway. 32 GB storage versions are going to be available on both of these. There may also be a 64 GB version on both. This is not fully confirmed as yet. And you've got expandable storage. They're saying 64 GB of expandable storage via micro SD card slot. Great to have expandable storage, not 128 like the Samsung Galaxy S5, but 64 GB is still absolutely great. Cameras are the same here. The refacing camera, you've got a 16 megapixel refacing camera with optical image stabilization, so this is a great improvement. Samsung cameras are very good generally. You can see lots of tests of other cameras that I've done, Samsung Galaxy S5, Samsung Galaxy Note 3 for example. Once we get these devices in hand as well, we'll have lots of camera tests on the channel. Optical image stabilization is key, which is going to be great for the video as well. You've got 4K video, 2160p recording capabilities on both devices. Again, absolutely great, and with the optical image stabilization, that's going to be a big advantage. Now this is one of the things that the Note 3 and the S5 lacked. You didn't have optical image stabilization, or you didn't even have digital image stabilization at 4K, which was a real downside, especially when you wanted to get some stable footage. If you were filming handheld at 4K, that shake was very obvious. Now front-facing camera is where there's a big improvement on these devices. This is something that Samsung has really taken on board. Samsung Galaxy Note 3, everybody remembers that selfie, that Oscars selfie, and it was famous and it was really good quality, and the front-facing camera on the Note 3 was great anyway, but they've made a massive improvement onto here. So firstly, you've got an f1.9 aperture, which is going to mean 60% more brightness on your images. So from the front-facing camera, images are going to be a lot more bright, especially in low light light, this is going to be a big advantage. The wide angle lens has also been widened further, so you've got from 77 degrees to 90 degrees. So for group selfies, that's going to be absolutely great. And it also goes up to 120 degrees if you want to use it in a panorama sort of mode. They're calling it the wide selfie mode, which is going to be another useful feature. And you've also got the heart rate monitor, which you can use as a shutter. So this is going to reduce shake because you don't have to physically press a button. You can just tap the back and that's going to take an image. So great improvements here in terms of the front facing cameras. Now looking at the additional features that these devices offer, so I'm going to quickly run through the ones that are the same on both of these. So firstly, you've got a fingerprint scanner on the home button, so this is the same as the S5, so you can swipe to unlock your device and do other things like make payments. This is not as good as a touch button, but you can swipe. You have to be a little bit accurate. It can be useful for some. You've got the heart rate monitor at the back, so you can use this to measure your pulse rate for your S Health apps. But the key thing is the S Pen. Now the S Pen has been improved massively compared to the Note 3. It's twice as sensitive, so in terms of pressure on things, you can have much more accurate sensitivity on the S Pen. And you've got a ton of new features with the S Pen, unique features. So for example, you've got Smart Select, which is going to let you select parts of a page or image, and it's going to let you put all these together in a scrapbook and send them over, which is absolutely great. You can slide to minimize, so if you slide from the top, you can minimize a window and then use it to multitask. You can drag this around and things. Multitasking is what's key on the Note devices. You've also got Smart Note, which is going to let you take pictures of some notes that you've taken on a piece of paper, on a board or something, and that's going to convert it into digital text, which you can edit. Once again, a great feature. And you can also use the S Pen as you would do a mouse because of that extra sensitivity. You can select text and you can click and drag images to select multiple ones instead of tap 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 like how you would have had to do traditionally. So some great improvements here. Now what separates the Edge from any other device out there at the moment is that unique curved screen that you've got at the side. Now this does not affect your real estate that you've got on your main screen, so that's still got that full resolution 2560 by 1440. This is an extra 160 pixels on the side, which extends that resolution. So this is dedicated for things like shortcuts, so you can pull up shortcuts onto here and they're not going to be interfering with your main screen. You could be watching a video on YouTube and all of your controls will pop up into that curve. Once again, this is useful, as you can see that it's not going to be interfering, it's not going to come up and go away, it can just be there constantly on the top curve. It can be used for notifications as well, so while your phone is asleep you can have your notifications pop up on there. You can also have a ticker tape functionality, so you can have things like your weather and notifications from Twitter, for example, scroll on this on a ticker tape form, and you can also be seeing your tweets while you're doing something else on the phone. So really a unique feature here, and this is something that Samsung is innovating in. This is not something we've seen on other devices before. They were teasing us with this last year, early last year on an event. They were talking about what kind of possibilities that you can have with curved displays, and this seems to be a very practical solution. Now the key thing to note here is that this is very new functionality and it's going to be opened up to developers to develop more apps towards this sort of format that can be utilized for future use. We'll be talking about that a little bit more later. Now looking at the operating systems, you've got Android KitKat on both of these here with the TouchWiz skin on top. But as we mentioned, TouchWiz does offer some unique features that you're not going to get on your stock Android. Yes, it can be a little bit intrusive for some people out there. Now the battery, you've got a 3000 milliamp battery on the Note Edge. On the Note 4 you've got a 3220 milliamp battery, so you've got a slightly smaller battery here. This does go down to the form factor with that curved edge. Now battery life usage, we're going to have to see. The Note 4 they're saying is going to have an improvement of roughly about 7.5% compared to the Note 3. Now even though this has a quad HD display, they've gone to make some efficiency on the battery usage, which is good to see. You've also got fast charging, so you can go from 0 to 50% in roughly about 30 minutes. Another great feature that they've included on here. Now finally, looking at the price, now we've got no confirmed pricing on either of these. The Samsung Galaxy Note 4, I would predict that it's going to be roughly between 600 to 650 pounds here in the UK, or roughly between 700 to 750 dollars in the US. Now this is based on last year's pricing of the Note 3. This is the sort of price that we were looking at on release. Release date, they're looking at October, so October is when you're going to be able to get your hands on the Note 4. Now the Note 4 is going to have worldwide availability, so you should be able to get it wherever you are. The Note Edge, the story is slightly different here. They're going to be only giving it to limited markets. Now, as I mentioned earlier on, this is a very, very early stage device. This is something new that they've come up with, and this seems to be the reason why they are limiting it initially. Price wise, we've got no idea right now. I would expect it to be quite a bit more than the Note 4, roughly about 100 to 150 pounds or 100 to 150 dollars. Now, this is based on the Samsung Galaxy Round, which was roughly about $850. So if you wanted to go ahead and pick that up, then you are looking at roughly about $850 to $900. This is a new piece of technology, so you can expect it to be on the expensive side. Now, those are the key differences, but the key thing that I want you to take away from this is that the Note Edge is very much a prototype. This is something new. Should we call it a preview device of what Samsung has upcoming in the future? Now, we may see this same technology on, say, for example, the Samsung Galaxy S6. Maybe the Samsung Galaxy Note 5 will have that curved edge, so you won't have two versions. But this is something very much that Samsung are trialing out, are really putting out there and teasing everyone with what they can do. At this point in time, there's not going to be that many apps that are going to be compatible with this, which is the reason why they're opening it up to developers, so developers can develop some more custom features, because there's a lot of possibilities with that edge. Like, for example, you've already got cases which expose that edge, so you've got the case closed and you'll still be able to see your notifications on there, which is a great feature. So that's just something that I want to emphasize on here. It's not going to be something where you can just go out, throw your money and get hold of. This is very much a limited device that's going to be available in limited markets. Again, we're still not sure where this is going to be available. However, the Note 4 is an absolutely great device. What they've packed up in here is a great. I think pretty much everyone online has been very, very pleased with what the Note 4 is offering, especially that premium build now that you've got a metal frame. But at the same time, they've maintained lots of the other features. You've still got expandable storage. You've still got those beastie specs in the Note 4, and the S Pen features have also been massively improved. So what do you think of the Samsung Galaxy Note 4, and what do you think of the Samsung Galaxy Edge? Is the Edge something that you see smartphones incorporating in future? Is this something that you can see the Samsung Galaxy S6 having? Do drop me a comment below and let me know your thoughts. I hope you enjoyed this video and found it useful. If you did, as always, please do hit that thumbs up button for me. It really does help me out. And why not subscribe to the channel? I've got plenty more content coming up on here. I'm going to be trying to get the Note 4 in. The Note Edge might be a bit difficult to get my hands on, but I'm going to be trying my best to get that in hands on for you guys. So be sure you are subscribed to see that first. Thanks for watching. This is Saf on Super Saf TV, and I'll see you next time. If you want to see more regular videos like this one, then be sure to hit the subscribe button, which will be below. If you're on a mobile device, it may be somewhere else. If you want to see my previous related video, then hit the link right here. If you want to stay in touch over Facebook, Twitter and Google+, then all of the addresses will be there somewhere, as well as direct links in the description below. Okay, if you're still watching, then that means you've not done one of those things, so no. Yeah. Anyway, I'm just gonna go downstairs. See. Okay. There isn't really a downstairs. Anyway, so yeah.